Gorgeous afternoon. Hi. I just had my late lunch and it is still I was having hesitations this morning to make the recording about this. It is about one kind of evil spirit I happened to come across while surfing in the net. So I've been praying to the Lord God that, Lord, make me be clear, like with the messages that comes to me, or the visions, that no deceiving or lies would come to me, because as my mission, I want to share everything, that almost all the messages that comes to me, except for those personal things that's just for me, so that we would inform people, and we would be I would be really forwarding information for enlightenment, for people to be to reach a point of conversion. That is one of the main purposes of me giving out this blogs that I have, anyway. I could see that only a few people try to listen or view my YouTube channel, but what is most important is that I hope that I am making a sense, and I would be reaching the objective for which the Lord God is asking me to do these things. So, if I am trying to explain on some things, it means to say that there are people who also wants to know why, isn't it? Because most of us doesn't want our lives to be in the open. Even if we have like reality shows wherein families are being like monitored by cameras, of course there are a lot of portions there that we could not see, right? Especially like sentiments, thoughts, memories, hurts, pains. Not everything is being revealed there, but with a special purpose. So my purpose is really like to reach out even to those people that I know, that sometimes I could not tell them exactly what I mean, what I've gone through, what I feel, what is my sentiment, and what is my stand on this and that. So this YouTube channel is about apostolic work, and for me also to reach out whatever I need to say, to share in the simple platform that we have. So anyway, so this morning I was able to come across, upon praying that, oh Lord, because I'm forwarding information, I hope there would not be fake news, no, false news, and false statements, false information that would also give me false information to forward, isn't it? So that's how my prayer is. And this morning I just happened to come across this video about Beelzebub, no? It is a demon of gluttony. So yung itsura po ng Beelzebub, ano siya, yung bangaw, no, the fly, no? It is one of the seven princes of hell, no, mga prince ng hell. So ito daw po ay ang prince of desire, no, a false god. It is that he tries to tempt people to worship the false god, and usually daw nakatuon naman talaga to sa kanya. So finu-fool niya tayo, no? What comes into my mind right now with this one of its objective is for people to be fooled and deceived to worship a false god. Example ng false god, sarili natin, di ba? If we think so much of ourselves, no, kailangan naman meron kaming ganito, yung beyond pa naman, no, sa capacity. Example, yung squatting. Okay, iikot-ikot tayo dun sa mga issues that I have already tackled, issues that God has made me to give attention to. Okay, so yung false god po, yun, sasabihin nila na kailangan naman namin ng tirahan, marami namang, the owner has a lot of shares of land, so we could have this, no? For me, it is a false god in which you give yourself reasons and justifications all the time to get what you want. My family needs shelter, and then nag-ambition pa yan na shelter na ano pa, mauumahan pa in Bicol, a plot of land to farm to, no? Of course, for some people who does not own a land, that is a caprice, no? Caprices na yan, no? Na sa owner lang yan dapat may ganyan, no? Otherwise, you need to ask permission. You need to, do the respectful processes supposed to be. So that's one example that enters into my mind right now about the great temptation of Beelzebub to people of worshiping the false god. Also, I could make mention of other denomination or religion for that matter, wherein you may see, even if, let's just take it from the Christian church, no? So we have Catholic Christian, yung iba born again, etc., etc. I checked some of those that I was able to visit, no? I would see in the middle of somewhere, you would really see the influence of the devil, no? So I do not know if it's Beelzebub or Satan. Based on the video clip, Satan is the highest prince of hell, and this Beelzebub is very much also very close to what Satan is doing, or its capacity, no, to distract people, to tempt, no, to make people do horrifying actions. But he is second in command lang, kumbaga second place lang si Beelzebub. So it is the Lord of the Flies, no, powerful demon. May power po kasi ito eh. Even Satan also, no? And then, it is also being called as core of dung or god of filth. So, yung madumi po baga, no? Yung madumi. So, let us check if we are so used to filth, no? Kasi, kaya baga, sinasabi na God is a God of cleanliness, no? Cleanliness is next to godliness. Because, that's how God is, no? Malinis, etc. So, isa daw po sa, kanina, nagre-reflect po ako. No offense to the LGBTQIA+ community members, okay? Kasi, I have been trying to help people, regardless, no? Regardless ng affiliation, association, as much as I can, in a simple way that I can. People that I encounter, I try to accept them as they are, but at the same time, if they try to open up to me, like this, like that, it's always, almost always, I try to help people to be in the light, in as much as I can, but in the simple way that I can, to bring people to the light, to be in a better state. Konti lang, whatever I could afford, no? Especially if the person open up to me, no? For counseling and healing prayers. So, isa po sa pumapasok kanina sa umaga sa isip ko is that it is Beelzebub, no? Who tempts the LGBTQIA+ community members, no? The spirit that deceives and lies, no? Hindi ko pa po alam yung mga details niyan because I am not really a member, no? Sometimes I may be boyish, sometimes in my disposition, somebody told me, because I did not realize those things, no, until people also make comments like this. Okay lang sa akin. Pero, like, if I would be interested, to have a relationship with a woman, no. So, I'm not. Ayan. Pag asexual naman po, kasi, di ba, yung LGBTQIA, yung A, asexual, those are the people, I think, who hates sex. Not really like hate sex, pero nakaka-abstain sila. Wala naman pong problema kasi yung asexual, eh. But, it means to say, but yung asexual, if they get married kasi, it's included there that their obligation is to have that one. It becomes sacred within the sacrament of marriage if the union of two people is blessed by the Catholic Church, then it is sacred. So, 'di ba, yung sex kasi is kasali na sa marriage because you are trying to form a family, no? So even if no child was conceived during the union, still it is included in the married life, no? But strictly speaking, pag civil wedding lang, and no wedding, so every time you have a union, the priest told us about it, that you are committing sin of fornication. Okay? So that's it. So what is very important is the blessing of the church to make us say that sex is sacred. So it means to say two people bound together through the sacrament of matrimony has sex to be a sacred action, no? An expression of their love and union and binded as one. So, yung pumapasok po sa isip ko ngayon is that yung mga asexual people, they shun away from sex, no? They hate sex. Yun ang konting nalaman ko sa characteristics ng when we call asexual, no? Magiging ano lang siya, nagiging kasalanan lang yung pagiging asexual if you got married and you do not want to have it. Better not do not get married if you do not want, to have sex, no? Kasi by such, you are committing sin. Kasi obligation na ng both parties. But not to the extent naman of raping the spouse, no? Not naman to the extent of abusing it, no? That is what's coming into my mind. Well, especially also with the trans women and trans men. I hope you will not get offended. Pero I know that there are also trans who are trying to be holy. No? Mga trans people. Even asexual. Especially, pag yung asexual po, dinirect nila yung sentiment nila in disposition. Like, saying that, I'm offering this to the Lord God. No? Sex is quite essential to almost everyone. But, to these particular people, if they offer it to the Lord God, that I will not have sex for the rest of my life in offering to you, Lord, that's a different thing. So I repeat that if you are asexual and you got married and you do not want to have sex, that's the time that you become sinful as one, no? What about those who had castration? Well, in the first place, for me, it depends on the reason. It depends on the disposition, why it was done. Like in Beijing, China, they have what they call as eunuchs. They are sacrifice people. So it depends on the culture. In their culture, I do not know if it is still being practiced these days, that there are men who goes for castration and they are called eunuchs. So you might wonder, what is the sacrifice about? Of course, sex, isn't it? The abstinence from having sex is one sacrifice you could offer in this world. Because sex is actually talagang, it is natural in the body of men and women. But it doesn't really mean that you will not control, isn't it? Because sometimes Blessed Carlo is reminding us about the virtue of moderation, isn't it? Even between husband and wife, they should go for moderation, no? Hindi naman yung i-abuse. Anything that's too much is not good. But like too much of charity and too much of, yearning for holiness in heaven is never enough. So you go for it. But in all other things here on earth, there should be a moderation, no? Unless otherwise, you have like a deadline to meet and those sort of situations. Of course, you have to really work hard until you you are done with the job, or you have results already, or good outputs for that purpose, no? So that's it. For the trans men and women, it is being shown that as a characteristic of this second placer in hell, which is Beelzebub, it either obsess you or possesses you. Pag pinoses ka niyan, nakakapasok yan sa body ng tao, and then it would make you do horrifying things, even crimes. That is what we call evil possession. Pag obsession naman, the spirit is outside of you, but it keeps on bothering you, whispering things to you, asking things from you, making you also believe on some things, and making you also to do some things, and it depends on you if you will obey or not. That's why what we could hear in our senses, we need to check the spirit, as they said, as the Bible said, check the spirit if it comes from the Lord God, or if it is a deceiving and lying spirit. So one thing that was reflected upon again, same thing with the asexual. What is the disposition? What is the intention and decision about? That reach that point. There are cases po kasi that people are just, deceived nga. They are deceived by this spirit, by Beelzebub, It would make the person feel that he or she is also a god, something like that, and that they need to be worshipped, that they need to be, that they cannot take sacrifices, that it's okay to be filthy, inside and out, that it's okay to be dirty in your soul, something like that, by doing immoralities, crimes. That is one of the strategies of this evil spirit, Beelzebub. So we need to check ourselves, there are times, I think this is the antidote, the characteristics practiced by Bl Carlo, the virtue of moderation. We might be able to see that this is quite an antidote, quite an antidote for us to practice from time to time, in order for us to fight. There are different kinds of evil. Ito pa lang yung napapag-aralan ko today, as I have encountered it. So kung may moderation tayo, syempre, ayun, makikita mo naman, tama ba yung ginagawa mo? Yung minomoderate mo ba is doing good, Pag bad naman talagang alam mo ng sinful and a crime, of course you have to stop. Not only moderation, What we mean by moderation here is that, example, in eating, So this evil spirit is Prince of desire and gluttony, the demon of gluttony tinatawag, Busog ka na, gusto mo pa, sige pa. And then to the extent na your greediness makes you to deprive other people, makes you to steal, makes you to corrupt, makes you to go into illegal drug deals, makes you to go for prostitution, makes you to kill other people just for money. So you see? So talaga the virtue of moderation must be in place, and it would guide us, if we really want to go to heaven, and if we want to be holy. So in the LGBTQIA plus members, if the spirit is telling you that you are a woman when in fact you are a man, I think that's one also kind of strategy of this evil spirit, That's why we go to imagine that we are woman or man, and then we start to dress up like one, and want to desire to be one, to the point that you do not know if there are also health implications of the injections given to you, right? example for men, that they need to have a good skin, and what do you call that? Because when I was able to interview one trans woman, she was really looking very good, very pretty, no? That the skin is so soft. When I ate somewhere there, I was able to have a table next to one, and then I asked her. I could not help myself but to ask. And she told me that she is having a regular injection of contraceptives, the one that's being used by women. So the effect is softening the skin, no, making the skin be clearer and fairer. And you know what? Per shot, per syringe, cost by that time, I think that was 4 years ago, 2,000 pesos. O, see? So, yun po yung pumapasok sa isip ko, what kind of evil spirit is convincing us to do those things. It's Beelzebub. Especially, example, instead of buying food, you buy those things.